the week. So if you guys are following us, like and subscribe, follow us on Twitch, on Twitter, follow us on YouTube. Then as information like this comes about, I give you guys the information that you need where you can make you a pretty quick trade. And if you pick it up on the 1st of July and you leave it there until the 3rd of July, you just made what $150 off of a $2,000 hold for 24 to 48 hours, and then you can move that to something else because that's an annual stock. You don't have to leave it there. You can just put it there and then walk off, and you'd be good to go. Now, clearly, with the dividend rotation strategy, because you're holding a stock for a few days instead of holding a stock for 121 days, there will be alternative taxations. This is an international stock. There may be other taxations involved with that, but it's $150 worth of profit for you today, offset by any losses that you would have occurred throughout the year, offset by any deductions that you have for your LLCs or your C corporations. There's a lot of ways that you can write off the taxation of this particular profit, but the fact is that you could potentially walk away with like $150 off of $2,000. Well, yeah, $150 off of $2,000 because of the $1.50 per share that is offered by the almost $20 per share of stock that you'd be picking up. So you'd probably have about 99 shares worth of stock, and you'd probably be getting around about $150 off of the just about 100 shares. And that's a good swing to get into. So make sure that you guys follow along, because we're going to be seeing, I still got to do a little bit more digging about what's going on, because I don't really think that it's much of a new topic, but there is new developments on the Iran-Iraq bombings that were occurring over the past week and Donald Trump's position on it. But I do believe that they have maintained a ceasefire since last weekend's shenanigans. So I just got to really double check what's going on before I decide to cover that, because again, only reason why I'd be covering that is because as long as they're sending missiles and airplanes and stuff all over the place, you're going to see an increase in revenue on fuel and technology that is related to military grade weapons, missiles, jets, remote controls, drones, all that other stuff. That stuff is going to be mass produced to replace anything that was used. And that gives you the ability to invest right now while things are unstable. And then, you can pull out right when you start hearing that things might start settling down, because when they deploy stuff, they have to bring it back. So that means that anything that's not used while it's out there, they'll still be using resources to get it back. And that gives you the ability to invest in resources. So investing in chaos is how you make money. And that's what I would cover the story for. So yeah, we can talk about, who did what, when, where, and why, but this isn't a gossip thing as much as why are you moving your money the direction that you're moving it? Also recognizing that while the wealthy is still pulling out of the regular stock market and putting their money in gold and silver because of all of the political dismay, you can come to enjoy the stock market at a lower price that's more affordable for you, which gives you the ability to move money around and get used to it over the next 12 months. If you're getting used to the dividend rotation strategy and you're finding all of the stocks and following my lead when I tell you which ones to buy into and when to buy into them, you will be able to see which ones you can get at the lowest price with the highest payout and be able to double or triple your revenue in a shorter period of time. The difference between having $10,000 sitting somewhere and getting you $1,500 versus having $3,000 moving around getting you that same $1,500 is the fact that you can use less money to get more money over a faster pace, which allows you to be able to add to the principal quicker and expedite your revenue, which aside from the lows of taxation, you spend more time researching stocks and making profits off of stocks that would be paying for your standard of living, and less time arguing with customer service, arguing with HR, arguing with your boss, arguing with your coworkers, arguing with the client. Because when you're working for people in person, You have to deal with the attitudes and behavior patterns of the people around you, or the lack of work ethic of the people around you, or the dissatisfaction of certain customers, depending on how close you are to the sale, when the product isn't going the way it's supposed to go, or when customer service isn't going the way it's supposed to go. And you have to be the middleman between the customer complaint and the employee that led to the customer complaint. All of these things you don't have to deal with if you are researching this information over the internet and then following your lead when you come to this and that, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And then you're able to take action on the money that you already have lying around in the stock market. Instead of wasting it on entertainment, you could invest it into stocks that'll give you even more money that you can utilize towards entertainment and still have your principal in the stock market. That's what we try to do. Just note, we are live 7 nights a week. We do not let the sun rise without going live. So sometimes we're a little bit late as opposed to when we want to show up, but I'm making it a point to start trying to schedule it on YouTube exactly around about the approximate time that I believe I'll be going on air, so that you'll kind of get an idea that it hasn't aired yet, but it will. So, and I can adjust the time so that you can see it ain't airing yet, but it's going to air. So just hang out. And as Steve has done, soon as we in here, we in here. Monday, we're going to be dealing with how politics interferes with your money. Tuesday, we're going to be dealing with some investment opportunities. We're going to be specifically this Tuesday, since we're talking about the whole month of July, we're going to be going over the entire dividend rotation strategy, not explaining what it is, because if you want to know what it is, go watch the episode that explains what it is and how to do it. What we're going to be talking about on Wednesday is the calendar that we're going to be investing in. And then we're going to also be talking about other investment opportunities aside from that. So we're going to do like a 2-part special. We're going to be talking about alternatives to things that we can invest in. And then we're going to touch base on our actual active dividend rotation strategy. Since, like I told you guys, I was able to draw back 3 times more from this past month than what I've gotten back from previous months on the exact same stocks, which is beneficial for me. So I believe that it'll be beneficial for you guys. If in the event that we come across, it's good to see you back. It's good to see you back. If you grabbed it and picked up the stock, then you're good. Tuesday, I'm gonna be giving you the rest of the list. Note that we're supposed to be picking up 2 harbors by the 3rd. Is it the 3rd? Let me double check the calendar here, because I believe we're supposed to be picking up 2 harbors by the 3rd. July. Yes, 2 harbors by Wednesday the 3rd. So if you're picking up 2 harbors by Wednesday the 3rd, then you are in there like swimwear, and you'd be able to pick up on that stock. Well, you got to get it on the 2nd, which is Wednesday. So that's good. That's good. Now that one's going to give you a pretty decent payout. And then we're going to be talking about the rest of the ones that we're going to be working on, because if you've picked up Jinko, you're not going to be able to sell Jinko in time with the 2-day hold time in order for you to buy 2 harbor. So you have to buy 2 harbor and buy Jinko with separate stacks of cash. And that's one of the things that we're going to be spending a little bit of time talking about on Tuesday, is how you navigate through whether or not you put all your money on one stock, or you diversify and put some of your money on some stocks and some of your money on other stocks. Because if you have 2 stacks of cash that is doing the dividend rotation strategy, you can hit more stocks. The difference is that some stocks that have higher payouts, while other stocks might have lower payouts, it can offset. Because if you have a stack of cash that can hit 3 lower valued stocks and 1 stack of cash that can only hit 2 of the higher value stocks, you might get something close to the same amount of money between both tracks. But the difference is that the losses that you will take from the sale will be different if you're selling lower than you bought in from certain stocks versus stocks that you're going to guaranteedly sell higher than what you bought in. Like AG Mortgage is up almost $250, $300. So regardless of the $60 that I could get off of the investment capital, I can still sell it and make another $300 when I sell it in the morning. So I can still draw back a total of almost $400 off of that one buy, because I bought it low and it spiked, and now I'm selling it high. So that is the idea, is if you can get in there low and then sell it high, then you can ride that wave and you get 2 stacks of cash, because you get 1 stack of cash from the increase in the product before you sold it, and then you get 1 stack of cash from the dividends from being on the books during the ex-dividend date. Since we're in during the depression, we're in at the lowest part of the market. As the market starts to increase from the leveling off, which you see the government isn't leveling off right now, but if things were leveling off and chaos stopped occurring, the stock market would start going back up. And as it goes back up, you would buy low, sell high, buy a little bit higher, sell a little bit higher. And as you keep hitting the stock, you would keep seeing the gains. But if it would have been at its peak and you would have been buying at whatever level it was at, and then if it tanks, you'd be selling and buying and selling and buying and selling. And that's when the dividend rotation strategy does not benefit you, because you would be losing money every time you sell, and then you would be gaining the dividends off of it because you bought it. So when the stock is on a decline, you have to buy and hold. But when the stocks are on an incline in a bullish market, the dividend rotation strategy is a fantastic strategy to help you gain 2 stacks of cash as you move along in the stock market. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with the questions and comments from the fans from today, because that's what we were supposed to be doing today. We also will be talking about different countries that we're going to be investing in on Wednesday. Make note, I just did get confirmation. If you travel, good to see you again, Ricky. If you travel to Israel, it turns out that Iran will not accept your passport book if you have any stamps from Israel. So if you go to Israel first, even if it was probably 5 or 6 years ago, if it's in your book where they can flip through your book and see an Israel stamp on your book, they are not going to let you into Iran. So if you're traveling the world and you want to go to Israel, you go to you do it after the peace hits. Interesting question. Do I think Islam is evil? No location is any more evil than any other location. Period. There are people that have good intentions that have bad outcomes. There are people who have bad intentions that have good outcomes, and they have people with bad intentions that have exactly that, bad outcomes. Yeah, there's a couple of individuals that only wish the best in everything and has a good outcome, but the consequences of the decisions is what everybody pays attention to, not the intent behind the decision that was being made. So if it was meant to be a good thing, but it turns out to be bad, people are only going to know about it because it's negative. I'm not going to say that any one country or any one individual is negative just because of their beliefs or their. He says their book advocates for child slavery and abuse. The Bible was being utilized during the 1950s and 1940s, the New Testament specifically, to use Black people as slaves. So what's the difference? And that same Christian Bible is the one that King James version that everybody's utilizing right now. Specifically in the New Testament, when they start identifying the Cain and Abel battle, there's a passage in there where when Cain killed Abel, that they said that Jesus marked him with the soot from the fire or whatever, and that was how Black people were created, which makes absolutely no sense because soot is white. You can utilize this experiment in your backyard. Dig a hole, put some cobblestones around the hole, be safe about it, set some stuff on fire, preferably wood and paper, and watch the soot. The soot is white. uh so the ash is black, but he wasn't marked with ash, he was marked with soot. And I'm looking like, and then they're like, oh yeah, that's supposed to represent sin. And I'm like, no, that's not what it's about. The whole Ash Wednesday practice, when they're doing the whole thing across the forehead with the black ash, not the soot, that symbol is supposed to be the removal of sin, but that's the reverse of what that symbol was supposed to represent, according to the Cain and Abel passage. But I'm going to be honest with you, when it comes down to child slavery and underage employment, if you're paying them what they're worth, because, you know, Nike, Jordan, Reebok, I mean, their labor pool starts at a young age overseas. It's a thing. How do I know so many things? Well, I do research every day, 365 days a year, 366 on a leap year, and I research every single topic that I have on the show. I also have a habit of doing research, so I can't even kick back and watch a movie on Netflix without something triggering in my brain, and then I do a window off to the side, picture in picture, listening to the movie while I research whatever it is that I thought about. If I see something that while I'm watching TV, and a character in a movie or a character in a show says something and I want to know more about it, I start researching what it's about. I don't just turn my brain off and just say, well, it is what it is. Instead, I go and find out what it is. I don't trust other people to just simply tell me that this is the best way to go about doing things. I take what they tell me and I do exactly what I tell you guys to do. And I go and I ask the Google lady, and I tell you guys to go and research and go see if what I'm telling you is true. Because everything that I got off of the same source that you're going to get it from, except I actually do deep dives and I'm able to get a lot more details on the same topic. But I don't just wing it, and I don't just take other people's word for it. I do my research, I do my digging, and then after I've done that, then I it sounds like torture. It is. That's why from time to time, like yesterday, you seen me 2.5 hours giving all that information. That was 128 pages worth of information that I went over with you guys yesterday to make sure that you guys knew some of the concepts that would actually might be triggered by some of the stuff that's going on today, but also know some of the concepts that are needed for future improvement. Each one of the shows, Thursday played into Friday, Friday played into Saturday. Saturday is going to be part of what we're dealing with today. And the reason why I give you guys this information is because it's a bunch of different intricate parts, small cogs in a bigger machine, where with all of this stuff put together, when you gather all of this information together, you're now able to make informed decisions. And with those informed decisions, you're able to change the way you do things, which prevents you from making as many mistakes. It prevents you from being in the wrong place at the wrong time, involved with the wrong individuals, which also leads them making bad decisions, not you necessarily having to make the bad decision. And the only bad decision you had was that you did not leave when you realized that bad decisions were about to start being made, you know, and that gets you into a lot more trouble because you end up being guilty by association. The laws of accomplices. Somebody else does something, somebody dies, you were there when it happened, you didn't do anything to stop it, you didn't call for help, you're part of the problem. So you're going to be standing next to that guy as a co-defendant because you did not intervene. They start looking like they're about to do something wrong, you remove yourself from the situation. Whatever happens after you left is not your fault or your responsibility. Yeah, it might weigh on your conscience because you could have stayed and you could have done something and you could have intervened and stopped whatever happened to whoever was there. But because you removed yourself from the situation, you are not responsible for the outcome of the situation. And that's some of the things that allows you to have less catastrophic failure that negatively impacts your ready success. Because if you are making the right choices, investing your money wisely, building yourself a nest egg, you have an emergency fund, you have a vacation fund, you have an early retirement fund, you have your kids' tuition, you got all this stuff going on, and then you end up going out with somebody and have a Bangkok moment, have a hangover moment, have a how high moment, and then all of a sudden now you have to spend money on legal fees, which eats up all of the money that you put away. Or you have to pay for somebody's medical bills, which eats up all the money that you put away. Or you have to reimburse property damage, which eats up all the money that you put away. And now you have to start over. However many months or however many years that it took for you to get to where you are, now you got to start over because you had to go pay for some bullshit that you wasn't supposed to have to pay for because you allowed yourself to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's why I do a lot of research. And that's why Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I'm talking to you guys about making better decisions, how to see life from a different perspective, changing your priorities, changing your goals. Things that are a given, like sex in a relationship, is not something that you're drooling over when you're paying attention to the female, because if it's going to happen regardless, it's not a requirement. It's a guarantee. So the only thing you're focusing on is everything that happens outside of the bedroom. That gives you the ability to find better quality. Likewise, ladies, same scenario. You're dating a good guy, he's going to spend extra money on you. Looking for a generous man, that's a gold digger, because it's a guarantee that if you have a good man, he's going to try his best to take care of you. It does not have to be a requirement that he is going to take care of you. It is expected that he is going to take care of you. So it is not your position to monitor his money to determine if he makes enough to take care of you. It is your decision to monitor his decision-making skills to make sure that he doesn't fuck up the money where he doesn't have the capabilities of taking care of you, to make the right decisions so that he's not getting bailed out of jail for doing something stupid, making the right decisions so that he's not hung over and missing work and not making enough money to cover the cost. You're supposed to be paying attention to his character and his personality, because if he's got 40, 50,000 and you got 40, 50,000, y'all got 100,000. And if y'all living at 60,000, y'all can put away 40,000 and be a millionaire in 10 years or less. And I've been showing y'all the dividend rotation strategy for almost 2 months to show you that it's possible. And we're doing small stacks of cash. But if this was being done at 40,000 at a time, and you're doubling your money at 40,000 at a time every year, you're turning 40 into 80 in 1 year's time. You just made more money off of 40% of your household income than what you made off of your job by yourself all year, just by moving the money around in a stock option. But if he's fucking up the money, that's not going to work. Same thing, ladies. If y'all fucking up the money with buying frivolous things that y'all don't really need, that's not going to work. You think about how a man spends 41% of his income on you, where it only stimulates 23% of your standard of living. The other 17% that he's spending is just to impress you, which is a waste of fucking money all the way around. It's a waste of money. And then think about how when you're in that relationship, the $23,000 a year that you don't spend on yourself, you do nothing but waste. You don't invest it. You don't save it. You do not walk out of a 2-year relationship with 50 grand that you didn't spend because your husband or your boyfriend took care of it. You walk out of the relationship with the clothes on your back unless you get the house in the divorce. Why? So that's why I tell you guys about changing the way you make decisions. That's why I tell you guys about changing the way you put your money in different places to make money. And that's why I cover topics on the show that clearly allows you to see change in your society so that you can move money around in your society so that you can make more money off of your society, because that is how you capitalize. You capitalize off of the weak. You capitalize off of the ignorant. You capitalize off of the stupidity. People who do stupid stuff cost people money. Somebody's going to get paid off of that. See what I'm saying? The weak people who don't have the strength and the skill set to accomplish it is going to pay somebody else to do it for them. Somebody's going to make some money off of that. Elderly people, too old to even give a shit about it. Elderly people become dependents, and somebody's got to get paid to take care of them too. That's where you're going to make money from. What we're dealing with right now with politics is stupidity. People blowing each other up over bullshit. But you're going to make money off of it. That's capitalism. One of the reasons why America is considered the richest country in the world. It's the most expensive country in the world. It costs more to live here, but you make enough money. You make more than enough money to live here and still be able to waste money on something else. So I'm going to show you the core value of the American dream. I'm going to move money around and make money for you, so that you can then say, that's why I wasn't rich before, because I wasn't investing correctly. So make sure that y'all swing by every day, and then you'll be able to see exactly what's going on. But I appreciate you throwing out those questions, Ricky, because that's actually good stuff. That's really good stuff. But let's go ahead and touch base on some of these comments here, because we got a few, and we're going to see exactly how many mistakes are being made as they speak.
Here is one of the most awkward incidents that I dealt with in a long time. I've been dating a girl for about a month and a half. Yesterday, she invited me to her friend's birthday party. At one point, someone asked if we were official, and she said yes. We actually never talked about it, but I didn't mind her choice. I ended up spending the night at her place, and the next morning we went out for breakfast. Afterward, she asked if I could help her pick up a few things from the store. We came back to her place and hung out for a bit. She told me she was meeting her parents at 4, so I need to head out by 3. That's when things got interesting. At 2:45, her parents called to say they were already there. I quickly packed up to head out, but just as I opened the door, the elevator doors opened and there they were. Her parents. They said, "We're the parents," and I acknowledged them with, "It's very nice to meet you," and kept moving forward. She later apologized for the awkward timing, but yeah, it was a strange moment. Did I handle it well in the moment?
That's about the best that you could do. Yeah. Myself, I don't think that I would have rushed out. But the thing is that y'all just been talking for a month. You're typically only supposed to meet the parents when you're serious, when you have committed in the relationship. So the only time that you meet the parents before you're committed in the relationship is when the parents pop up out of nowhere, or one of y'all is living with your parents and you invite that person over to the house where the parents live. So this is actually something that does, y'all got to think about this factor, because a lot of people in the United States still live with their parents as adults. So if you're dating somebody and they're not willing to bring you home, it ain't because they got somebody on the side. It's a strong possibility that they're living with family members and they're not comfortable with talking to you about that as of yet. Regardless of whether or not they're doing that to save money, or if they're doing that because that family member is a dependent, is a situation that they're working out. And by the time they commit with you, because if they're living with a family member to save money and they commit with you and you have your own place, instead of them moving you into their place, they would move into your place, which would resolve the fact that they're living with family. They would just live with you, and then that would fix the situation. But having you spend a night with their family members at the house and stuff like that, they probably won't do that. So take that into consideration. If you're ever dating a person and time has lapsed in a relationship, but they've never invited you over to the house, that is why. Because when they decide that this is a serious relationship, this is a relationship that looks like it could head towards marriage, that's when they're going to feel more comfortable with introducing you to the family. Since we're skipping the friendship phase, because ironically, you bring your friends home to meet the family, sometimes on the first day, sometimes within the first few weeks or the first couple months, they come to the house, they hang out, they have dinner, they bond with the family, they bond with you, and then at some point you break the ice and tell your family that you're in a relationship with that person. But these days, because we skip friendship and we start with the romantic relationship, and then we spin back to trying to turn that romantic relationship into a friendship bond that'll be satisfied by a marriage. We are not comfortable with a failed romantic relationship, because the more often that you have a failed romantic relationship is the more often that your family members recognize that you're failing in the dating game. So instead of you failing in a dating game and your family knowing about each failure, they only find out about the potential successes. So limiting the exposure, and single parents, limiting the exposure to your kids. Instead of introducing each date to your child, you only introduce to your child the one that might be the one, right? So dialing it back to this gentleman's question, he said, pleasure to meet you, probably shook some hands, and then he proceeded to walk out of the door. That is the most appropriate thing to do, but I kind of would have lingered for a little bit to make sure that, the parents didn't want me to hang around, but she did not want me to be there. And it's kind of like awkward, because I feel like it would have been rude to rush out. Like I'm walking out with a suitcase out of their daughter's apartment. They clearly know that I was there long enough to have a suitcase. So, who am I should have been the thing, the introduction. And then how did I know their daughter kind of thing. Let the daughter tell them that I'm the boyfriend, but I should at least be able to tell them, who am I? We met a while back. We've known each other for a while, and I was on my way out. It's a pleasure to meet you, and keep going. Now, it's up to her to tell him that I'm the boyfriend. I'm not going to break that ice for her. But I don't believe, oh, hi, it's a pleasure, and like bolt out the door is something that I would do, considering if this is going to become a stronger relationship down the line, that your second contact with the family is going to be the fact that a month into the relationship, you're in her house overnight kind of scenario, which means dad is going to be asking you some pretty heavy questions. How long you been smashing my daughter? Think about that. That's a thing that you've got to get into. Moving on.
I'm in a tricky spot and could really use some advice. My younger sister, 22F, has been staying in our guest room the last 6 months while she gets ready to move in with her boyfriend of 2 years. They're supposed to move in together in just 1 week. So last night she went to a party. I have a security camera outside that sends motion alerts to my phone. This morning I was checking the alerts from last night, and I saw her coming home with another guy. I'm really disappointed in her. I honestly didn't think she was the type to cheat. It also feels super disrespectful that she'd do this under my roof, bringing some random dude home while my wife, daughter, and I are sleeping here. I haven't told my wife yet because she's already not thrilled about my sister staying with us for free, and she's really looking forward to her moving out. I'm not sure what to do. If I confront my sister, she might end up staying here longer, which isn't ideal. But at the same time, I don't feel right just letting this slide. What should I do?
Well, mind your business. She got dropped off at your house. Whoever brought her home, she's not bringing that dude into your house, because while she is a guest at your house, your guests are not allowed to have guests at your house. Okay. You're assuming that she's cheating on her boyfriend just because a man drove her home. If she went out with her friends and the person who was driving left with the car, she would have to catch a ride with somebody else. Now, believe it or not, while women will pick the bear over the man and potentially risk getting mauled to death by the bear because they have no faith in men, in real time, men are Captain Save-A-Hos. They will literally stop what they're doing in life to make sure that you're safe, even though they don't know you. And they do this with no intent or expectation for reciprocation or sexual favor. So the fact is that if she ended up being stranded because her friends were too drunk to drive, or they left, or they mobbed up with a bunch of boys and they went somewhere else, and she wanted to go home, whatever guy that was in the vicinity that observed the fact that she no longer had a ride, don't wait for a cab. I'll take you home. I'm heading in that direction anyway. You didn't even got to pay me. Drop her off. It was a pleasure to meet you. I'm just glad you're home safe. And that guy would drive off and go on about his night. So she doesn't necessarily have to be cheating on her boyfriend just because she got dropped off by a man. That's a misconception. However, let's come from the devil's advocate of what if she was cheating on her boyfriend. That does not mean that she's going to stay at your house longer. She ain't sleeping with the guy in your house. Okay. She's still moving in with her boyfriend. Are you going to tell her boyfriend that you seen her getting dropped off by other dudes at your house? Like, what's good, Chris? It's good to see you. So the question is, like, are you going to break up her relationship by letting him know that she's interacting with guys instead of waiting on her husband or her boyfriend? Then another question is, if the situation was on the other foot, would you want to know from your wife's family that your wife is messing around with you? Society dictates that we do not tell the truth unless telling the truth benefits us. Society also dictates that we do not like to hear the truth. We typically attempt to attack the messenger of the message instead of accepting the message for what it is. So your best friend from way back when can come and tell you that they seen your girl making passes at somebody else, and they're going to deny it. That is the first thing the guy is going to do. Not the person doing the cheating, the person being cheated on is going to deny it. They're going to reject it. That is not possible. Worst case scenario, if the girl is making a pass at you and you're the best friend, you can't tell your best friend, hey, your girlfriend's making passes at me. He's going to try to beat you up because he's in disbelief that his girl would do that. That's what people do. As a result, would you really want somebody to come and tell you that your partner is screwing up your relationship? If the answer to that is yes, and you want to be like the informant, that's the best way to put it, then by all means, let the guy know. But she's temporarily staying at your house until she moves out. And when she moves out, she's not coming back to your house. And the infidelity that she's got going on that could potentially cause her to break up her relationship is got no reason why she should continue to stay in your house, because this is supposed to be a 1 week stay at your house. She's getting out after that. If you let her stay at your house for a month to save up her rent money so that she could put down a deposit and get herself a place to stay, that's it. And then get out. I don't care if you move in with your boyfriend or if you move in by yourself, but you're getting out on the first. That's really what it is. Now, when you said you were going to confront your spouse, I mean, not your spouse, your sister about it. If you're confronting your sister for the sake of telling your sister, hey, what you doing? This is a good dude, but don't be cheating on him, blah, blah, blah. She ain't going to stay at your house longer because you tell her to get her shit straight. She's got 7 days. If she don't get her shit straight, she's still getting the fuck out. That's what you got to stick to. You got to stick to the game plan. The game plan isn't like, oh, Lord, she cheating. Well, hun, she's going to be here for another couple months because she done went from being a housewife to a street rat. No, that's not what that's about. If you were able to sleep around, go sleep at the houses of the guys that you're cheating on your boyfriend with. Don't stay at my house. Consequences for your actions. All right, let's go on to the next one.
My girlfriend and I have been going out for just over 3 years now. It's been happy for the most part, but as of the past year, we've had more and more fights. Last night we went to meet 2 new friends for drinks at a bar and had a really great time. While I got our first round of drinks, we ran into another friend of ours who was there with her cousin and some other guy. The 4 of us were talking and shooting the shit, and I'm grabbing my second drink when my girlfriend decided she wanted to go say hi to our mutual friend we ran into with her cousin and some other guy. I watch her go over and sit at their table. Me and my friends are chilling. She's looking like she's having a riot. So all's well. Around 9 p.m. or so, my friends mentioned that some music friends are putting on the second set of their ambient instrumental show in a building 10 minutes walking. I gather my girlfriend, who's pretty drunk at this point. That guy at the table was buying her shots and drinks. We head over. The ambient instrumental set was really beautiful and introspective. Everyone was laying down or sitting on mats. It was really a great way to be capping off the night. With maybe 5 to 10 minutes left in the set, my girlfriend starts nudging me and prodding me, then poking me in my ribs with her fingers. After digging in a couple times with some real force, I turned to her and asked why she was doing that. She tells me this is boring and she wants to go. I tell her that there's maybe maximum 5 or 10 minutes left of music, and it's pin drop silent. She's pretty loud in my ear and tells me this is really dumb. Who gives a fuck about this? And that it's time to wrap it up. I'm sure some other people overheard. When I try to answer her, she goes, "Don't want to hear it, okay? We're leaving. We're leaving." She's clearly agitated when I again reassure her that soon as it's over, which will be soon, we'll go home. After a minute or so of sitting, she starts grabbing/pinching my calf. Every time she's doing it, it's harder and harder. It got to a point I had to put my fist in my mouth to not make a sound. I eventually had to whip around and told her to cut it out 'cause it hurts. She puts on the same drunk airs as earlier about the whole thing being dumb as fuck. It was embarrassing. The show ends, and we get out, say goodbyes to our 2 friends, and begin heading home. The whole way she's yelling at me, being combative, walking away from me, telling me I don't care about her, etc. She screams at me saying she deserves better, that I'm not a real man, that she doesn't need me. We have a whole fight the whole way home. I try to explain that physically hurting me isn't the answer to get what she wants, and she could use her words. She goes off and says, "Oh, so I'm an abuser. You're calling me an abuser now." I tell her that isn't at all what I said, and I'm only trying to talk about the situation. She asks me to show her my bruises or evidence. She starts asking me to say something. Why am I being like this, etc. She tries packing my clothes and things and says that I clearly don't want to be with her anymore. I tell her that's not it, and I want to talk about this when we feel like we can and not in the heat of it. She tries to go sleep on the couch, but I have to take her back to bed. It's 1 a.m. at this point, and after all of that I'm exhausted and have to be at work 7 a.m. During work today, she calls me and said she's so sorry about yesterday. She didn't mean to put hands on me or hurt me, that she just drank too much and doesn't even really remember a majority of the evening or what she said. She wanted me to pick her up after she's off work at 9 p.m. to talk more, but I told her I needed some space right now since I work early tomorrow morning too. I don't really know what I should do, but my parents being immigrants, I grew up in a household which was like that. Gaslighty, hostile, and demeaning. I worry about that behavior, because it's not about me. It's about if we stay together and have kids, and that behavior becomes what they experience. I just need advice about this, and how to handle moving forward. Thanks.
Um, so she was at the bar throwing back a few extra shots at a different table with some friends of y'all's. Fine. She got hammered. Technically, you should have took her straight home because she was drunk. Or you could have got her a cab, an Uber or a Lyft, and have them take her home, and you go to the music thing and enjoy because it's clearly not the kind of hobby that she has. You were supporting friends, and she wasn't interested in that, probably because she was a little bit more hungover, and that wasn't her style of music. I believe that her behavior was extremely inappropriate. And one of the things that I think about when I hear this kind of discussion, I recognize that women aren't going to agree with this, but women are allowed in society to be more abusive than men are. Women are going to say that men are more abusive than women because statistics show that men get arrested more often for physical abuse than women. But that doesn't mean that women are not abusive. It just means that women do not get in trouble for their abusive behavior. Men have to allow that because men are supposed to be strong. So the fact that she's poking him and pinching him and, basically inflicting pain on him to force him to get up and leave because she was ready to go, when she could have respectfully asked him for the keys and say, hey, I'm not feeling this. I will wait for you in the car. And she could have took the keys and went and laid down in the car until you got ready to come and get her and then drive her home. She didn't have to stay in the place. It was only 5 or 10 minutes, and it would have took her 2 or 3 minutes to get to the car, 7 minutes into waiting for you to get to the car, and she would have been asleep in the car. So the fact that she was ruining your time when she understands that you value these people and you like the music that they play and you wanted to listen to that music, she showed absolutely no respect for you, absolutely no respect for the people in the room. And, that's not something that you would tolerate. You've been with her for a few years, so it's partially your responsibility that you should know how much she drinks and how she gets when she drinks. So when you recognize that the guy at the table was feeding her a bunch of drinks, eventually that alcohol is going to hit her and she's going to start becoming an asshole. Now, if you love her when she's not an asshole and you're going to want to work things out in a relationship with her when she's not an asshole, you want to avoid that asshole behavior. Once her limit is like 2 or 3 drinks and you've seen her do 5 or 7, it was time to go home. Didn't matter what else you wanted to do for the rest of the day. It was time to go home. So it was time for her to go home if it wasn't time for y'all to go home. So the fact that you allowed her to stay out in public while you knew she was too drunk for her own good, that was a fail on your part. Now, this half of the conversation is the deal breaker for me. She could have been frustrated that you didn't hurry up and leave because women have a time clock that they want men to stop living at the drop of a hat and perform any kind of task at the whim of the demand of the woman. And if it is something that is an emergency, then I would agree. But if it is something that you can wait your damn turn, then you need to wait your damn turn, because mutual respect indicates that a man is not supposed to stop you from doing what you do, putting on your makeup or whatever the case may be, getting your outfit on or whatever the case may be, so that he can get what he wants. If a man wants a meal, he's not going to wait till you trying to get ready and make you stop putting on your mascara and your eyeliner and all your rouge and everything like that so that you go make him something to eat with half your face painted and the other half not. That's not what happens. If a man wants something, he waits until you're done. If he wants something from you, like sex, you got to take your face off. You got to take all the face off. You got to shower. You got to put your hair up in rollers and all this other stuff. He's got to wait his turn for you to finish doing whatever it is that you got to do. If a man wants to go somewhere, just take you out on an event. If he could get ready in 5 minutes, it might take you 2 hours. He's going to wait for you to come on, let's go. Even though he told you 5 hours ago that y'all was leaving in 3 hours, and 3 hours turned into 5 hours, and he's 2 hours after the time he wanted to leave, and he's still waiting on you because he wants you to go too. So since men have the capabilities to wait on a woman until she is ready to take action, mutual respect indicates that a woman should wait on a man when she says she's ready to go and he says 10 minutes, she needs to give him 15, because he should have 10 minutes to wrap things up and another 5 to say his goodbyes to all of his friends and the band, since he knows the band. Then go to the car. Or she could go to the car and let him stay there for 20 minutes. Because the same way a man can wait for his woman, the woman should be able to wait for a man. When it comes down to her devaluing you as hold on, he said, first of all, if she decides to get drunk, she's setting the stage for problems off the bat. Lack of self-respect. Exactly. It's lack of self-control, because she was originally out there with her boyfriend and a couple. So they had couple friends, and it was supposed to be the 4 of them hanging out. And then they went from one couple friends to another couple friends, and they were supposed to be hanging out. And this is like 2 drinks in by the time they get to the second couple. And then a mutual friend of hers and her boyfriend, a guy, they come out and start doing shots. That was disrespectful in and of itself, because you left your boyfriend to go sit with this dude and have shots. I don't care if it's a friend or not. That guy should be at your table with your boyfriend and the mutual friends that y'all have at that table. You should not abandon your boyfriend on a date or a night out with your boyfriend to go hang out on a different crowd and get hammered, where that guy, friend or not, is force feeding you drinks the same way guys force feed women drinks in hopes that they could end up he said, it's me, Bayside family. Oh, it don't say Bayside at the top. Well, I'm glad to see that. I was like, who is this? But so I got your intro coming just a minute, Bayside. But I agree 100%. I'm like, new guys got common sense. That sounds like one of my regulars. It's Bayside. But yes, that disrespect from this guy force feeding the drinks, which is what guys usually do, regardless of whether or not she's with her boyfriend. If this guy feeds the girl enough drinks, then she will make bad decisions, start making out with the guy, potentially go home with the guy. That'll be the end of the relationship anyway. Guy gets a one-night stand. He's not looking for commitment. But what guys on the prowl typically do is any girl, regardless of whether or not she's committed or not, is offering drinks. So he has a budget of money that he's willing to waste to get the girl drunk. And once she gets drunk, then she starts being willing to do things that she otherwise would not do when she's sober. Now, before I keep going, I want to do a special shout out to Bayside real quick, because Bayside, my man, he be coming through. On the show. So it's good to see you, Bayside. And then make sure that you slide through on Tuesday, because we're going to be definitely talking about that dividend rotation strategy. We're going to be talking about all of the stocks we're going to be investing in July, so that you know what's going on, and let you know which stocks we're selling on Monday. So you should sell whatever stocks you're selling on AGNC, Orchid Island, and AG Mortgage Real Estate Investment Trust. You should sell all 3 of those tomorrow, and then you'll have the cash available in 2 days by Wednesday to be able to invest in some of the other things that we're going to be buying into for the rest of the month. So note that AGNC, Orchid Island, and AG Mortgage, you sell those now, and then we're going to take the capital as soon as it clears and start putting it towards some other stuff. Now, back to this chick. And for the rest of y'all, if y'all follow the show, make sure y'all like and subscribe, and come see us every day of the week, because we're always talking about money throughout the show, but we always talk about improvement and analyzing failure so that you can see why improvement is needed. And then follow us on all the channels, because we have Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube right now. So we're on 3 different channels right now. And if you watch us on one, you see us on the other. We also got some videos going up on Flip. So you'll see us on Flip. Tell your friends and have them come through. Share the video with people that you know might need it, people that you know will argue against it. It is what it is. But what we're looking at right now is the whole drunk girl scenario. She knew that she was smashed, so she should have said, well, look, let me go somewhere else because I'm not good right now. Now, the whole argument part on the way home, when people get drunk, their true inner self shines through. If you a thought, if you throwing it back at the first guy, that's what you're gonna be when you're not sober. You understand? If you aggressive, that's what you're gonna be when you're not sober. If you're abusive, that's what you're gonna be when you're not sober. Your self-control, your rational thinking, your calculated thinking goes out the window when you are in an inebriated state. Rational and logical decisions, consequences for your actions, out the window. Now, everything she told you that night when she was drunk, that's how she really feels. Nobody says what they don't mean when they're drunk. They don't say what they mean when they're sober. So the fact is that she really didn't want to be in a relationship with you no more. And that was the argument that did it. She got drunk. She got that. They call it courage juice for a reason, because when you get drunk, you lose the self-control that allows you to restrain yourself from doing things that you will regret or be embarrassed about later. And then you just lash out at whoever, whenever, however, say whatever is on your mind because fuck it, I'm drunk. We have a society that allows us to screw things up on purpose and then blame it on the alcohol. And in addition to blaming it on the alcohol, which is a lack of responsibility and a lack of first person accountability, in addition to that, we also have drunk fog, where I don't remember what I said. You should just forgive me and forget about it. No, bitch, you said some shit. And what you said, that was the end of this damn relationship. I don't care how good the sex is. I don't care what kind of Barbie doll you look like. You're not going to be talking to me like that and then come talking about I was drunk. Bitch, you know that you get rowdy when you get drunk. We together for 3 fucking years. So you should have known how to control your damn alcohol inside of the first 3 damn weeks. And you out here acting ass like this 3 years into the relationship. You just killed the relationship. You would have did better shutting the fuck up and catching a cab on the way home instead of causing bruises and pitching and poking and prodding on me, trying to get me to leave something that I wanted to do. And when you left me already because you got toasty with some dude on his tab, I appreciate the man for getting you fucked up without me having to spend all the damn money. But I'm pissed off at the fact that we came here together. You left me to go do something with another nigga. Then when you come back over by me, you fucked up. Then you want me to come and cater to you. Then after I cater to you, you want me to not have fun with my people, my squad. You knew where I was about to head to. It was a 10-minute walk from where we started at. You walked that 10 minutes with me instead of saying, I don't feel good, I'm going home. That's all the hell you had to do. So for you to embarrass me and force me to not enjoy myself with my people 10 minutes down the road from you enjoying yourself with your people, that hell nah. It's time for me to get the fuck up out this relationship. So now I'm in a position where the physical abuse, because her poking and pinching and prodding, nah, that's not okay. In a relationship, there are some people who will use silent physical cues to control their partner, where they'll apply pressure to the thigh, apply pressure to the arm, or they'll kick you under the table. Those are mild levels of abuse, believe it or not. But they do that. And when we watch it on the movies and we see that, like, oh, they kicked the guy under the table, and he's flinching and he's reeling in pain, but the people across the room don't act like they noticed that he just got kicked in the shin. but we're laughing at it because it's a movie and it's funny like that. That type of abuse actually does happen in real life. And when it's a woman doing it to a man, oh, get over it. You're a guy. But let's flip the script. Ike Turner, if you was kicking Tina in the leg and telling her to shut up, abuse, right? You grabbing her on the thigh, anime. You come on, let's go. Abusive, right? You snatching her by the arm and poking her in the rib. Sing from the diaphragm, anime. Sing from the diaphragm, anime. Abusive, right? Oh, we going because I say we going. Abusive, right? If it would have been abusive when a man is doing it, it's abusive when a woman is doing it. It's just that our society allows women to not be held responsible for their actions when they do the same things that men do. Now, this other part, the real reason why I would say this ain't going to work out after all of that. You grew up in a toxic environment and you recognize that. Individuals who have a toxic childhood attract themselves to toxic relationships. Statistics have proven it. You were having flashbacks of your childhood in this relationship with this woman, which leads you to believe that if you stayed with this woman and children came out with this woman, this type of negative behavior is the type of negative behavior that your children would get to see, and they would assume that that is normal behavior. It is not normal behavior. It is not okay to be unnecessarily assertive. I'm not going to say unnecessarily abusive. It is not okay to be abusive ever, but it's not okay to be unnecessarily assertive with your partner. You can ask to leave and then just say, look, I'm going home. I'll meet you at the house, or I'll meet you in the car. You got minutes. I'm in the back seat. I'll see you when you get out here. But all that ass acting that she got going on, nah, I would not want the mother of my children to behave like that. You got to learn from past mistakes. You got to break the cycle. You see this toxicity, which for some reason you're allowing it to happen because you told me that there's an increase in fights, which means that she's probably seeing somebody else. She's probably seeing the guy that was getting her drunk across the room from y'all because she was with you with every couple that showed up. But when this one guy came, she ditched you and went with that guy. So she could be cheating on you with somebody else. Typically, any person, man or woman, changes how they behave with you when they have emotional attachment with somebody else. So the fact is that she went from treating you like a king to treating you like shit to the magnitude, regardless of whether or not that she was drunk, she packed your shit up when she was the one who fucked up the night. You didn't do nothing wrong besides not rush her home because she got wasted with another man. If you think about the dynamic, you made no errors that requires you to move out of the house or remove yourself from a relationship. She is the only person that failed that night to the magnitude that she should be moving out of the house and moving out of the relationship. But again, causing a conflict with you before y'all get home. Y'all are not going to have any type of intimate or romantic engagements at the house because y'all just had a fight, which she could have started that fight deliberately to prevent you guys from having an intimate engagement because she's got feelings for another guy and she wants to preserve that for the other guy. Some people do that, which ultimately, and that's a man and a woman that does that. And ultimately, she's choosing to sleep on the couch because she didn't want to sleep in the bed with you anyway. Had nothing to do with the fight. She just didn't want to sleep in the bed with you anyway, bro. So she packed up your shit because she want the house. Me, I would have said, ho, why are you packing up my stuff? No, ma'am. If you packing up anybody's stuff, you packing up your stuff. I ain't going to stop you from going, but I'm not leaving. This is my house. So if you don't want to be here, if you don't want to be with me, you can fill that suitcase up with your shit, but you should not be putting my shit in a suitcase. I ain't do nothing tonight. You feel me? I would like Bayside said, no, ma'am. I'm not barking up that tree. That's not gonna happen for me. So I'm in a position of saying, well, Real Deal Holyfield, you need to go somewhere else with that craziness. You feel me? shoot, I probably would have got her an Uber and sent her over there by her mama house in the first place. But once you took the suitcase and you left or whatever, and then you going to work in the morning and she talking about oh, I don't remember what happened. Can you come give me a ride after work? Call the motherfucker that got you drunk last night. Let him come give you a ride. Fuck you. You said you ain't want me. Now you need a ride. Now I'm sorry. Don't fucking call me now that you need something. I ain't got time for that shit. You done killed the whole relationship. Only way that I would be doing moving out if that's not my apartment, that's not my house. And if that's the case, I would have let you pack up all my shit and I would have left and I would have blocked your number and you would not have been able to call me. You would have left 1,001 messages on my voicemail. My voicemail would have been full. I would not have put forth the effort to empty my voicemail and it would have just been done. She be, well, what happened? You packed up my shit. That's what happened. That is the quickest way to tell me to get the fuck out of this relationship. And that's exactly what I did. That all of that leads to this relationship is over. If you stay in that relationship with her, her behavior is going to continue to get worse because she knows that she can treat you poorly and you're not going to leave her. That's going to give her an emotional safety net, an actual safety net. And then she can start doing all kinds of other reckless stuff. Like if she was thinking about cheating, but she hasn't started cheating, she might actually start cheating. Because what are you going to do? You're not going to leave. She tried to throw you out, but you didn't want to go. It's the exact same thing as a woman dating a guy who punches her in the face. I don't condone that type of behavior, but if he gave you a black eye once, he'll give you another black eye. So after the first time he hit you in the face at the house, when he starts hitting you in the face in the street, you should have left when he hit you the first time. So 8 different punches down the line, and now you're getting closed fists. Now he boxing on you like you a prize fighter and stuff. He has to build up the courage to beat on you like that. The first time he back slaps you, that's a wrap. The first time that he grabbed you too hard, that's a wrap. So the fact that he was the first time he choking you and it's not in the thrills of passion, that's a wrap. So the fact that you can allow yourself to go from the first time this behavior started to become inappropriate to the fact that it is completely inappropriate, that entire time frame, you lagged on getting out of that relationship. As soon as it happens, I don't care how much you love them, it's time to go. It's time to go. I don't care how much time you invested in it. It's time to go. And uniformly speaking, fellas, first time she slapped you in the face, relationship is over. Because if you hit me on the wrong day, you're going to get knocked the fuck out. So when you hit me, before I hit you back, that's it. We're done. Ain't no apologies. No, I'm sorry. No, I'll make it up to you. You can't do nothing to make up for that, because I'm going to stand on the fact that as a man, if a man hit a woman the first time she gets hit by the man, she need to get out of there and press charges. So if she hit him, I feel the same damn way. Soon as you smack him, that's assault. If I'm not pressing charges, you're getting out of my house. But one way or another, we're not talking about this no more, because ain't no female hitting on no man and not getting swole up. Because if you're not gonna let another man slap the taste out your mouth, why you gonna let this woman slap the taste out your mouth? Plain and simple. Some people gonna say, "Oh, misogynistic." Hey, I'll be that, because women burn bras and everything like that for equality, which means that you get equal rights and equal lefts. So if you out there putting yourself in a man's place fighting a man, then you're supposed to get treated the way men get treated when they fight a man. That's equality. Now, you don't want to be treated that way. You're not supposed to put your hands on a man. So all of that violent behavior, as soon as it starts happening, it don't matter if it's happening because a man initiated it or the woman initiated it. Before you two are fist fighting in the street and both of y'all go on to jail, leave. The relationship is done. We're not going to try to fix it. We're not going to go to therapy. There's no communication after that. Once violence is in a relationship, violence should be like #1 deal breaker above infidelity. You can work out infidelity. You know what I'm saying? You can work out lies. You can work out wasting the money, but violence, nah, that should not be from either side of the fence. Make sure y'all like and subscribe as y'all here. Let's go ahead and tiptoe on some of the other ones we got going on here.
Ladies, why don't you talk? I'm on several dating apps. Rarely I'll meet someone and we'll converse. The majority are matches that sit there. No response when reached out to. No opening greetings. I don't understand. I've heard guys say it's a vanity thing to see how many guys you can match with. I'm just trying to understand why you're wasting the time of guys you want nothing to do with. And to be clear, I'm talking about the women who are swiping and get the match notification. The notification that stops the swiping process. Asks you if you want to say hi, and you just say no. Why? My girlfriend and I've been going out for just over 3 years now. It's been happy for the most part, but as of the past year, we've had more and more fights. Last night, we went to meet 2 new friends for drinks at a bar and had a really
Uh-oh.
great time. While I got
I
our
think
first
that's
round
a
of drinks, we
play-in
ran
from
into
the other
another
one.
friend of ours who was there with her
Hold on a
cousin.
second. So he's asking. Let me move.
Who gives
on
a
for
fuck
second.
about this? And that it's time to wrap it up. I'm sure
All right, we're gonna keep going on that one. So I think that kind of bled into the
he's
last
yelling
one. I
at
don't know
me.
why. But apparently you're saying that you as
I
a
tell
guy,
her that isn't at all what
you
I just need advice about this and how to handle moving forward.
okay.
Thanks.
So it bled into the other one. So originally, the comment was specifically that single guy goes out on dates or trying to go out on dates. He's on the dating app. The women are not responding to the dating app. They're matching, but they're not communicating. I talked to you guys about this when we talked about how to improve your dating profile. This is the reason why we start talking about it. And then I talked about it like 2 days ago. So we curated that into the process, understanding that women get a lot more hits than a guy. A guy can get five or 10 genuine hits, not like the bots that are required to trigger your profile to get you to log into the app. Not like the email that pings you and tells you, oh, hey, handful of people was looking at your profile to trigger you to go to the app, because they have a lot of bots in the app that triggers the list to get the people to interact with the website, that keeps traffic on the website. The algorithm doesn't care how you feel. The algorithm's designed to keep people coming back to the website and using the website. We explain that people, not just women, sometimes just swipe right on the ones that they think are attractive. They swipe right until they find something that is definitely not attractive. So even though they will not date that person, if they're thinking in their head, oh, I could sleep with that person, they'll swipe right. They'll think to themselves, oh, I could be friends with this person. They'll swipe right. You know, I can see myself having a cup of coffee with this person. They'll swipe right. But I have no intention of dating on any of the last 3 or 4 rights that I just swiped on. I ain't got time for it right now. I'm busy. It's good to know that there's some attractive guys out there, but I got things to do. Fellas, we do the same thing. We'll be busy as fuck. And then we find a moment in time when we're bored, like jump on a date nap, swipe right. Oh, she's hot. She's hot. She's really hot. She's hot. She's young. And you just swipe it right. Right? Now, then when you get off that app, you got shit to do. You got double overtime. You got to square things away in your house. You investing, you all dealing with family, and you don't have the type of lifestyle to spend more than 30 minutes on the dating app swiping right. So how would you have time to spend more than 30 minutes in person with this woman? And yet we still get on the dating app for the ideology to check and see if we can stumble across somebody while we're on standby in our life. Those swipes are not because we want to date those people. Those swipes are because we thought the photo was attractive. We thought the bio was good. That was it. The background of the character was interesting. That was it. And then from that point, if a communication comes out, you got to see, is one of you, if not both of you, on the membership? If they're not on the membership, bro, they're not going to respond to you, because one of y'all got to pay. If both of y'all are free, y'all not going to be able to send messages, and don't nobody want to pay to send a message. So while, yeah, I would date you if we could talk, I'm not allowed to talk to you until I pay for the platform. And I don't want to pay the platform. I'm not interested in paying for the platform, or I can't afford to pay for the platform. Whichever one it is, I'm not allowed to send messages. So now you've got a female that might want to talk to you, got the one high out, and that was it. Because she ain't paying for the platform. Now, if you met her in person, y'all be able to make it work. How do you get people to communicate with you on the platform? Trick of the trade: you are not allowed to put your personal contact information in the bio or anywhere on the website. However, it has been brought to my attention that if you put your number or any type of contact information in there, you know how when you do the open parentheses, put something in there, close parentheses, that's how you do the copyright symbol, right? Open parentheses, C, close parentheses, and it does the little circle around the C. Well, that's not considered an actual character according to the algorithm. So if you put your number in there, you put the open a parentheses, put your phone number, it put each number in there and close the parentheses, it'll show up as numbers inside of circles, which are considered special characters, not actual digits. So you would have a bunch of special characters, 10 special characters on the platform that does not register as personal information, which allows individuals to see in your bio, text this number or text me, and then have that up there. And people, you don't have to have a paid platform, but you'll have a shit ton more spam going on because they will see that. And then some people will actually text you. And you could operate off the free app. You have no idea who the hell is texting you because you didn't match with the person before you reached out. You just have random people who saw the phone number, use the phone number to contact you, and you'd have to find out who they are, what they look like, where they're at. But that's one way to do it. Outside of that, there is no way that you would be able to communicate with somebody else without paying for the membership. So why are the women not continuing the conversations? Because unless you're on a dating app that requires a minimum of one person to have the membership for a communication, where if one person in the conversation is a member, both members can talk for no additional cost. Unless that is the situation, you're not going to get the woman to respond, because women don't pay for that unless they seriously are looking for a partner. And the women that are seriously looking for a partner are over the age of 35. Most of the fellas are buying that app. We got Bayside coming in here. Special shout out to Bayside. Wow, since Bayside has put code in here. I think it was here yesterday. Everybody's in here. All we need now is Usman and Carl.
My expectations are my compass. My respect is my shield. To mediocrity and chaos, I will never yield.
And we ironically are blowing up on Twitter right now. So special shout out to Twitter, because it looks like we have a large quantity of traffic on Twitter. Y'all know on Twitter that y'all can use that comment section, and this is a live interactive podcast, so y'all really could be in the conversation with us. I know Twitter and Twitch are used to watching and listening and enjoying the show, but this ain't China. Y'all can get involved. Y'all can get involved like Stone Cold Steve Austin fans, and y'all can just dive in every time somebody says something. Just don't spam the feed, but y'all can get in here and make it do what it do. But what I was trying to say, nevertheless, is this. Since the dating apps are tuned to at least one person paying for the app, you would have to buy the membership and then limit your contact to members only, which will limit your accessibility, because the majority of members only, depending on the dating app, is going to be middle-aged women. Now, if you are looking for younger, depending on the app, because just like we talked about on, I think it was Friday, we talked about how certain dating apps have certain dating ecosystems, which has certain criteria based on the app that you're using. You might be looking for the marriage when everybody on the app is looking for random hookups. If you're looking for random hookups and they're on the app looking for serious relationships, you're still not going to match up with the right person. So it's always important for you to figure out which dating app that you're using. If all of your dating apps are the same, having the same results, it's not necessarily you. It could just be your bio. And that's why on Friday, I told you guys, change up some of your photos, improve your bio, be a little bit more descriptive, but be positive descriptive, not negative. Talk about the things that you want to have in your partner, not the things you don't want to have in your partner, and then see how your hits improve. And remember to try to put yourself a little smile on your face, something like that. And then, add to the fulfillment of your profile. Because if you build the right brand on the internet, then women will start flocking to you. Now, what you could do if you're paying for dates or paying for the app, apps like Christian Filipino will call you and give you a direct connection to another member that is on their platform. So if you want to skip the line and stop doing the whole trying to get somebody to accept you for who you are kind of thing, you can literally have the customer service of the app directly connect you with somebody else on the app so that you can start off a real conversation with a real person that is really supposed to move you towards a long-term engagement or lifelong relationship. And that's the only app that I have heard of so far. It's not the only one that exists. It's the only app that I have heard of so far that invests direct effort into matching you with your partner, proactively calling your phone, leaving messages on your voicemail, and reaching out to you for the ability to proactively connect you with other members on the platform. So when you're ready to settle down, and if you don't care which country she comes from, and Philippines is number one for the traditional old school female that is family oriented, which is what men are looking for. You get on one of those apps like Christian Filipino and you let the people call you, and then you get hooked up with whatever chick that you like her photo and you match them with that person. That contact should lead directly to a video call, which should lead to a long-term quantity of engagements that doesn't require you to spend a bunch of money on a membership. If you're doing free video calls from WhatsApp or Skype, and then you could do phone calls and other such stuff. Yet, while you're working on improving your status so that you can take that $3,000 to fly over there, and then you can go and stay at her house, and now you don't got to pay for room and board. You can just fly over there and she'll take you all over the place. You could bring $6,000 so that you can help her get her citizenship, not her citizenship, her green card, so that you could fly her back to America with you, if that's the woman that you're trying to keep. But the ideology is that if you're going there for a specific person, instead of just going there for the sake of going there and hoping to find a specific person, you're more likely to have the first in-person encounter after an extended period of time of virtual engagements with the person. And then you'll be able to see what their personality is like, see what her efforts is like. And if you go out there to the Philippines, the women take you out on a date and they pay for you, bro. So you be wanting to pay. And she's like, nah, that's all right. I got it. And then, you're like, all right, because they have a habit of saving the man money so that he can buy them food. They literally redirect their mentality to not waste money on unnecessary luxury so that they can spend more money on food. It's fantastic. Because the logic is, the less you cost me, the more I can spend on you. I still am limited to the income that I have, but the less you cost me, the more I can spend on you. So a Filipino woman will get a hell of a lot more money out of her man than an American woman, because each item that a Filipino woman asks for is way less than each item that an American woman stands for, which means that a man might have to finance it to get the things that American woman needs, but he might only have to put a few dollars down to get something that a Filipino woman needs. So you got to think, and they typically have similar desires. It's just that one would be willing to get a brand new purse that is just a brand new purse, where the other one has to get a Louis Vuitton bag that costs 1,000 times more than just a regular purse. One purse might be $75, where the Louis Vuitton bag might be $7,500. That's the difference. That's the difference. You're not going to have a Filipino woman that's like, no, never buy me nothing ever. No, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. High value men with any type of home training of family values is gonna buy stuff for his woman. The difference is how much does she expect it to cost. The difference between him buying his woman an outfit that she looks good in versus an American or Western woman who wants him to buy her a specific outfit that not only makes her more sexually desired by society, but is also a name brand piece that she probably seen a celebrity wear, and you got to spend through the nose to get this outfit. Car note level through the nose. I'm talking about $700, $800, $900 for one outfit. And then you got to go buy a $1,500 pair of red bottom shoes to go with it. So you just spent like $4,000 for this chick. That's a used car for one outfit. Versus the Philippines, they might be like, no, that's okay. $50, that's too much. Buy me a sewing machine. I'll make us some clothes. There's a difference in mentality. So the dating apps that you're using might not be the ones that is best fit for your expectations. Look into some other dating apps and see what's going on. Talk to customer service and see what they're about. Something can change. You can't just sit there and whine and complain about the lack of success. You've got to change the way you approach this so that you can find a way to make yourself more successful. All right. That's my spiel for today. Make sure that you guys stay tuned because we do got a lot more. I'm gonna give you a couple more stocks since y'all hung out with me today. These are some of the stocks that I have found recently. We're going to be putting them. I'm going to be talking more about them on Tuesday. But I want you guys to see some of these stocks. So, Steven, if you still here, I got you. A couple more stocks I'm going to put down that I found to be interesting that I'm going to be looking into adding into the dividend rotation strategy, specifically because they're going to be available in August and we're walking into July. We already have our dividend rotation strategy kind of set up for July. And I did not find any of the stocks in the new list that I curated that are it says unknown. It's supposed to be unowned because I didn't buy that one. I'm taking it straight off of my list. I don't own that one yet, but I'm going to get it. And then we're going to be getting this one's got a really long name. And then we're getting, so I've got the list because I told you guys that I was going to get the list this week and then I was going to put it together. So now that I've got the list, I have to create the calendar for you guys to show you guys how we're going to be investing in these. And then, so this is two sets of, oop, gotta grab the wrong one. Two sets of, stocks that are coming soon that we're going to be adding in because you see these are supposed to be for August, September, December. We have a list for July, and I want to make sure that you guys note that we are rotating out right now about 10 to 20 stocks, depending on which week that they come out. So Sunrise is one. Let me go back and look at that. Sunrise Realty, that one's one. It's really, really affordable because this one is like $11.28 a share for 30 cents per share payout. It's a quarterly. That one is about $4 higher than Orchid Island. Orchid Island is giving 12 cents a share per month. Over the course of 3 months, it's 36 cents a share. So if you did a buy and hold, Orchid Island would be more effective to buy into. But the month that Sunrise Realty is paying on a quarterly basis, that 30 cents a share, you could get a 1,100 shares, get you 100 shares of that stock, and you're looking at like what, $30 off of 100 shares. So it depends. If you're putting in enough, you could see yourself walking away with like $300 if you put down enough money off of that at $11 a share. So really think about it. We're going to be looking into those, but you had Sunrise, and we also had ABRDN Bloomberg. They had a name change, and they are all commodity, longer dated strategy K1 free ETF. That one is also supposed to be releasing one with $1.38 per share. Take that into account. And that's a pretty decent payouts, because even though it's a 1 month out of a quarter that's going to be making those payouts, that's a pretty decent payout. So we're going to be looking at those. And Zim, that's another one that we must have. So we're going to be talking about these again on Tuesday. So write these down. I give them to you on purpose so that you can pay attention to when these things release. Now, since the company can change the release dates, the name is not going to change. Go grab the name, do your research, confirm what the ex-dividend date is, and try to buy into it a day or two before the ex-dividend date. That way you can get your money. Then you can sell the stock and go back to living your best life. This one, Zip, is a quarterly stock that's paying 75 cents a share. So depending on how much you're picking up at, like $16.53 per share, $1,653 would get you 100 shares, and 100 shares should give you about $74 a payout for the 1 month. Then you can sell the stock and go and push in onto something else. Now we have a longer list, because I have Chords Energy, Energizing Holdings, Regional Management. And we're going to be going through the rest of these in Tuesday's show. There's about 8 pages of information here when it comes down to stocks, that just so that I could get the one stock I wanted to give you today. Because if you don't remember, if you weren't here earlier in the show, I gave it to him at the beginning of the show. Jinko is supposed to be having an ex-dividend date on Wednesday the 2nd, which means you've got to buy it by Tuesday the 1st. So today being Monday the 30th, if you buy it today, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time or 6:30 a.m. California time, and you buy it today, you'll be on the books for the ex-dividend date on Wednesday the 3rd. And then you can sell the stock on Thursday, or you can sell the stock at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday the 3rd, and then let your money clear by Friday the 5th, where you could then invest in whatever stock we're going to be investing in on the second week of July and not miss a beat. Now, clearly buying into Jinko, you're not going to get the payout that you would have gotten from Two Harbor. So you have to invest separately in Two Harbor, who's also due around about the same time. But you can get you some Jinko and get you some Two Harbor and pull your money together and potentially see a $150 or $250 return between just those two stocks. And then you have the rest of the stocks that we're going to be investing in on top of that, which might help you with getting closer to $500 to $700 per month with only a couple $1,000s being moved around, instead of having to have $50,000 to $75,000 just sitting still in the bank. So make sure that you guys, I'm in time, like and subscribe, and share it with somebody. That on my way out, I want to let you know, ladies, as long as the situation doesn't make sense, I'm going to keep asking you ladies to make it make sense. So ladies, please make it make sense. And then fellas, 70% of the podcast from the male's perspective. We're here to help you guys. It's a male-driven podcast from the male's perspective, where we're here to help drive the men to becoming higher value men, not just by financial status, but by personal improvement. So remember, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, we're going to be giving you guys tips and tricks on how to make, save, and invest money. And then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, we're going to be talking about tips, tricks, and ways to improve your relationships and your social interactions, your network, and your decision-making processes. And then on Sunday, like today, we have questions and comments from the fans. And anything else that you guys talk to me about, that's what we're going to talk about. We go live around about the same time every night of the week. As I told you before, we do not let the sun rise without going live. So even if we're late, we will air every night of the week. So make sure that you guys make it a habit to swing by and see what else that we've got to offer. That is all I have for you guys for today. I want to thank you guys for coming to This and That. I'm your host, Xander, where we talk about this, that, and everything in between. And I will see you guys tomorrow night.
Higher ground. Used to chase validation, now I validate myself. Building inner strength, putting doubt upon the shelf. No more unnecessary drama, no more wasted time. Climbing higher, constantly making my own climb. Standing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground. My network is my net worth. Choose your company wise. Surround yourself with eagles, not with sheep in disguise. Every interaction is a reflection of my brand. Quality over quantity, that's my personal command. I'm not landing on higher ground where excellence is found. My potential knows no bounds, raising the bar, breaking ground.